Hello everyone, this is Dino Chris from Prehistoric Facts. This is Prehistoric Facts special episode number 151. We're going to be talking about a herbivorous dinosaur today, and that dinosaur is Stegoceras. So this is an artist rendition of what possibly Stegoceras could actually look like, even though this is 18 years old of a picture, but we get the idea. There could actually be a little bit more fat on this animal. Some information about Stegoceras. Stegoceras, the name means horn roof. Length is 6.5 to 8 feet long, or approximately 2 to 2.5 meters. Height is 2.5 feet or less than a meter. Weight is 22 to 88 pounds. Lived 77.5 to 74 million years ago in the late Cretaceous period and found in Alberta, Canada, and was described by Lambie in 1902. So this was a dinosaur that's been around for a long time. So here here's the map of Canada, and on the left here, and basically the part of Alberta that Stegosaurus would actually be found in is basically the southwestern parts of Alberta. There has been rumors circulating that there's some Stegosaurus fossils have been found in Montana, but it's still remains to be seen if that's true or not. And then you actually have the size chart of Stegosaurus. It is a very small dinosaur. And then you actually have a Scott Hartman art rendition of the skeleton. It was pretty much majority of the skeleton has been found, and so that actually is a pretty good sign that we got majority of the skeleton. So Stegoceras, family of dinosaurs it actually belongs to is the Pachycephalosauridae. So it's the dome-headed dinosaurs, and its speed could actually be between 25 to 30 miles per hour. So it's a very fast dinosaur. If you're that small, you are going to be very fast. And characteristics of Pachycephalosaurs is basically a dome skull. So they actually can almost look like they have a bald head. And so it would probably be covered with keratin, of course. Not really bone on bone, because that would not happen. How they would use those skulls, it would actually be determined on which one's male or female. The males probably have more robust skulls. I would believe they have more robust skulls, because first and foremost, the males probably actually have to do combat against each other to actually fight over the girls. So they probably kind of did a little bit minor headbutting, not really actually like charge at each other and hit each other like that. I don't think that would actually happen. I think they probably just kind of had their heads side by side, and they actually kind of whacked their heads off to the side. And so there could probably be some pretty interesting injuries with those hits and all that those sorts of things. And they probably lived in small herds, because if you actually are going to be cooperating, you're actually going to be defending yourself by having as many numbers as possible. But I think in the case with this that small of a dinosaur, you're going to be living in small herds or otherwise colonies. So that would actually be the more likely scenario for Stegoceras. And of course, Stegoceras, like all Pachycephalosaurs, is a herbivore. Now, could there possibilities that they could actually be eating like some meat or otherwise insects? Possibly. There's a possibility that they probably did so. But Pachycephalosaur coprolites are very rarely found, and so those are actually going to be very hard to find. But who knows? There might be a Pachycephalosaur coprolite laying out there somewhere. The environment in where Stegoceras actually lives in will be warm and humid. There'll be lots of trees, cycads, ferns, and of course flowers. Flowers were very dominant in the late Cretaceous period. And of course no grass. And on occasion there's some cool winters in that time in Canada. And so there would actually be some cool winters. Not the type of winters that we see today or other ways that we see in the Ice Age. Those would actually be really, really cold winters. The winters that the dinosaurs probably had were actually probably more likely to say just above freezing. So above 32 degrees Fahrenheit. And so that actually gets the idea of their kind of winters. And of course, there was plenty of other animals around. There was insects, amphibians, reptiles, birds, mammals, pterosaurs, and of course, a lot of other dinosaurs. And of course, being a herbivore, you are going to have some predators. So the predators of Stegoceras would actually be Dromaeosaurus. So Dromaeosaurus would actually be around at that time. Troodon would actually be around at that time too. And of course, there were the Tyrannosaurs. But the types of Tyrannosaurs that Stegoceras would actually be worried about were the juvenile Tyrannosaurs. Adults would not dare actually try to have Stegoceras for dinner whatsoever. They'll just be basically a snack for them. But juvenile Tyrannosaurs would actually be able to hunt the Stegoceras, like juvenile Albertosaurus, juvenile Gorgosaurus, and even juvenile Daspletosaurus. Those would be the dinosaurs. Those would be the dinosaurs I think could actually prey upon Stegoceras. The extinction of Stegoceras is basically going to be climate change. Temperatures began to climb after 74 million years ago, and of course, pretty close to 70 million years ago, the Rocky Mountains started to form. Around 72 million years ago is when the Rocky Mountains really started to form. And what happened actually is when the Rocky Mountains started forming, that Western Interior Seaway started receding, and so that means the ground was actually the elevation was getting higher in the middle of North America. And of course, there was actually new plants that were actually being evolved as well. And once those new plants actually started to come around, Stegoceras would not be able to actually feast on those plants because they're just so foreign to them. But the new herbivores would be able to eat them. And so you actually get the idea with that one. So here's the map of North America and what it would look like 75 million years ago. So here's the area of where Stegoceras would actually be living in. And so this part of Alberta, southwestern part of Alberta. And then you actually have some bits here in Montana that are still actually around. And so when the Rocky Mountains started to form right around here, that's where you actually start to have the Western Interior Seaway started to actually retreat, and so it was retreating from south going to north, and so that would be the idea of how the Western Interior Seaway was actually retreating. The next episode will be on February 28th, 2020, just before Leap Day. And that will be a Q&A episode. So if you got any questions about dinosaurs or any other prehistoric life, feel free to email me at dinochrist71@gmail.com. Or go to my Facebook page, Prehistoric Facts with Dino Chris. Like the page, you actually post your questions on the wall or in the comments section. And also for YouTubers out there, feel free to like, subscribe to the channel, and also put your questions in the comments section. But at least keep your questions short to the point, and also try to make sure you're actually putting in at least at least 2 to 3 questions in one comment, and that way I can actually read them. Because if you send me multiple questions at one time, I can't read them all, and so I would have to pick the ones that I can answer for you on video. And like I said, keep your questions short to the point. You can also follow me on Twitter at CSGRALL. That's my Twitter page. I'll post pretty cool stuff on there. Also, take care of the people around you. Also, for your younger people out there, make sure to listen to your parents, your teachers, and your guardians. It's the best motivation you can have for good education. It's very important to have good education. So with good education, you get a good job in the future. That's it for now, and I'll see you guys next time.